Cam McGuire back with you here on the Steelheads Hockey Show, brought to you by New Belgium Brewing Mountain Time Premium Lager. The Steelheads victorious last night by a final score of 5-0 over the Kansas City Mavericks. Ben Kraws making 27 saves for his second shutout of the season. Idaho getting ready to take on the Mavericks tomorrow night at 6:05 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and then the series finale on Saturday at 5:05 p.m. Well, sitting here alongside netminder Ben Kraws. Krawsy, a nice night for you last night, and a nice win for the club, heading into a series where you guys knew that you were going to kind of have your hands full, right, against the top-ranked Kansas City Mavericks. So good way to start the series, wasn't it?
Definitely, yeah. Like you mentioned, they're a great team, highly offensive, very have a lot of speed out there too. So I thought we handled them well, kept it to the perimeter, and made my job easy last night.
It seemed like the guys in front of you played a really good game as well. You made some big stops in that one, but it was a more calm game. It felt like a little more relaxed than maybe some that you've played in this year, having to stop 30 or 40 shots.
Definitely, I thought we were controlled it there, kept them to the perimeter like I mentioned before. Blocked a lot of shots too. Like guys were selling out. Pito, I go down the lineup. I thought everyone did a great job of that part and held them off the board.
Let's go into your play from last night and kind of overall. When you go into a game like that, is there a point during the game when you're like, okay, tonight's my night. Like, I feel really good. I'm locked in. I'm dialed in. Was there a point during the game last night where you kind of had that click in your head?
For me, my game plan is just one shot at a time. So I kind of break it down that way. I don't get too far ahead of myself, feeling too good or feeling too bad. I kind of stay neutral and take it one shot at a time.
Let's look at the season for you as a whole. Obviously a rookie, and you've spent time here with the Steelheads. You've been up in the American Hockey League with Texas, and when you've been up there, heck, you've played really well. You've picked up a couple of wins. So you look at your first rookie season, and really the first time that you and I have had a chance to talk about it on air for our audience. What's your first pro season been like?
It's been a lot of fun. Great experience for me, just being up and down with two different teams, both highly competitive teams, great coaches. Can't say enough about both organizations. They've been phenomenal to me.
Played the last couple of years in NCAA Division I college hockey, so obviously very different from the pro game. You play a lot more games, and you play more of an untraditional schedule, right? In college, you're probably used to that Friday, Saturday series, practicing Monday through Thursday, so the schedule is obviously very different. How have you acclimated to that?
Definitely, it's been great. I love playing games. That's why we play the game. So I think anytime you can play more, really just comes down to recovery. I think recovery is a huge part of it. Knowing when to take time off from the ice or how to manage your body is crucial, and that's something I've been learning and managing as well.
Here with goaltender Ben Kraws. Well, you're a guy that, in terms of recovery and in terms of a day-to-day approach, you're a pro's pro. And you're still a youngster, 24 years of age. Where did that mindset kind of establish from? Because it was very evident early on that you're dialed in, you're locked in each and every day you come to the rink.
Yeah, I think you have your routine and you kind of tweak it here and there throughout the years. So I think it began early from a young age, kind of figuring out what worked for me, and then you tweak it as you get older, what you need on that particular day or whatnot. You just tweak it from there.
Talk about the changes versus college and pro hockey, and one of those changes is the amount you travel, right? Especially in this division, the Steelheads fly pretty much everywhere. It seems like you're spending 1 week at home, then you're on the road for the next week, and obviously in the midst of a 6-game road trip here. So how do you adjust to that?
Yeah, that can be challenging for sure. I think a hard part is the food part. Finding good food in different locations can be tough, but you manage, right? You make it work. We're all in that same boat here, so you got to take what you can and just be ready to perform.
You've had the opportunity this year to learn from some great goaltenders, some goalies that have been around. Starting first up top with Texas, Remy Poirier, who fans know very dearly here in Boise, Magnus Hellberg, who's played substantially in the NHL. And then you look here in Boise, Brian Thompson, a guy in his second pro season. And even earlier this year, Thomas Scholl, who's a stud as a Steelhead, right? What's that been like to be able to have some of those guys to lean on kind of every day?
They've been great. First year pro, you don't really know what to expect fully going into it. So to have that veteran experience for me to kind of lean on, ask them questions, ask them what to do here or there has been really, really helpful for me.
Let's look back, because your second shutout last night, 27 saves. The day before, I saw you must have had 16 gallons of water at Target. And I think going into every series now, that Tuesday, you got to make the Target run with Beast.
You have to, yeah. You got to stay hydrated, stay full of food, so you got to for sure. Yep.
What's this road trip been like for you? You been on any ones longer? We obviously went home on Sunday and kind of had the day Monday, but we're right back on the road Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a quick turnaround. Just do laundry, kind of repack, and get right back on the road.
Let's get to know you a little bit more here next couple of minutes. 24 years of age, like you mentioned, a goaltender. Was it always goalie in hockey, and was it always the game of hockey growing up?
Always the game of hockey growing up, for sure. I played defenseman for a year or two when I first began to learn how to skate, and then made that transition into goaltender pretty early.
How'd that transition kind of unravel? Because there's not a lot of people that want to volunteer and be a goalie. Was there a certain situation that you were kind of thrown in the fire, or did you kind of have this in the back of your mind, like, hey, I want to be a hockey goalie?
Deep down, I think I always wanted to be a hockey goalie. I mean, I love the custom helmet, the gear you can create. That whole part really kind of drew me toward it. But yeah, there was an opening when I was younger. Both our goalies got injured, and they asked who wanted to be a goalie, and I figured I'd try it out and loved it.
Well, you got the size for it, 6'5". Were you always that tall, or maybe it was a growth spurt in high school, middle school that kind of led you to kind of leap above everyone?
A late bloomer for sure. Yeah, I mean, my dad is 6'3", my grandpa's 6'5", so they definitely helped me with that, but a late bloomer for sure.
Well, you kind of knew it was coming. Hey, you grew up in New Jersey. There's been some great goaltenders to play for the New Jersey Devils, Martin Brodeur being one of those, and kind of would have been around your timeline there. Were you a big Brodeur fan growing up?
Definitely. Yeah, I grew up watching him a ton. Went to a bunch of their games, so that was a lot of fun to watch him when I was younger.
Let's wrap it up here and look into this weekend. Obviously, I'm going to ask Everett Sheen earlier tonight about winning that first game in the series. Now you guys head into the weekend tomorrow and Saturday, up 1-0 in this series. What's it like playing ahead in the series, especially against a pretty high-caliber opponent?
It's great. We're going to be ready for Friday and Saturday. They're going to have a good push. We know that they're a great team, so we're going to be ready for that and do video and come ready.
All right, now you'll finally get to go home on Sunday. You get 2 weeks at home, and it's been a while since we've been home. Mentioned just a couple of moments ago you had that day on Monday. For you personally, first professional year, so obviously your first year in Boise. What's it been like being a Steelhead this season, playing in front of a sellout crowd each and every single night? And what's your experience been like in Boise out west, a place that you're probably not too familiar with when you came to the Steelheads back in October?
Yeah, it was my first time in Idaho back in October, like you mentioned. So very welcoming. The whole Booster Club fans, they all have been really welcoming, and we love playing in front of them. They're a phenomenal crowd and the best in the league.
There you have it. That's Steelheads rookie goaltender Ben Kraws, fresh off his second shutout, 27 saves last night as the Steelheads defeated the Kansas City Mavericks 5-0. Kraws, appreciate the time, and best of luck heading into the weekend.
Thank you very much.
We'll take a timeout here on the Steelheads Hockey Show, brought to you by New Belgium Brewing Mountain Time Premium Lager. More to come next when we return right here on KTIK The Ticket.